they have the responsibility to train their child as best they can, get the exact message that you're giving, and how we could work to make our relationships better. Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Rita IB. As always, I'm happy to have all my returning subscribers. Thank you for doing all that you've been doing. Thank you for always coming back to watch my content, and to all those who are coming across this page for the first time, you're welcome. Welcome. Oh boy, I'm just going to be sharing with you guys what I've been up to lately, and which is a lot of different things, but one main thing that I've been doing is trying to catch up on reading books, and I have quite a few, and there are some that I haven't ever even read. So I've been reading this book by Francine Rivers, which is a 2-book series, and it's the second in the series, and it's called Her Daughter's Hope. And it's a book that is pretty much centered around generational relationships. So relationship is something that we all like to talk about, and something that's very important, seeing that we are all interdependent and we are all social beings. We just tend to rely on someone consciously or unconsciously. So I started reading this book because it's not even mine, it's my sister's copy. And for whatever reason, I haven't just gotten around to reading it. I haven't read the first in the series actually, which is The Mother's Hope. This is Her Daughter's Dream, and it's a very well laid out, vivid trail of what a failed relationship could do to another budding relationship. And what I got from the book is pretty much the pillars of relationship and how we could work to make our relationships better. So I'm just going to share a few of them because I'm not supposed to be gisting you the book. You could go and read it. Let me show you what it looks like. This is what the book looks like, and just a pretty good read. So it talks about communication as the bedrock of relationships. It talks about 3 mothers: a great grandmother, a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter, who all have struggled with their relationships with each other. So it always seems like, even in real life, that grandparents treat their grandchildren better than their children. And to me, it's quite understandable because they have the responsibility to train their child as best they can. It's not a training that is so much from lack of love as it is from wanting to build strength of character. And so when their own children give birth to other children, they leave that, or they naturally would fall into the place of showing more love than putting all that correction that the immediate parents are supposed to do. So that is what was also reflected in this book, is the fact that the daughters and their mothers were having quite of a relationship struggle, but it seemed easier for the grandmothers and the granddaughters to have better relationships. So the main thing is all boiled down to inadequate communication and just misunderstanding of information. I have always been very keen on the fact that I don't think that our English is not our mother tongue anyways, but in Nigeria is our lingua franca, and I don't feel like any language really covers information or helps us to pass information to the extent to which we want to pass it most of the time. So we tend to fall short, and that is very much expressed in this book, is the fact that when one is corrected, they might see it as hatred. When one is pushed to be their best, they might see it as a lot of imposition or just lack of understanding. And the doer of the action is also not in the know that what they are doing is causing a breakdown in psychology and even more. So we should try to put more effort into speaking about things or what it is that the message that we want to pass across, till it is passed across efficiently. If not, you have not communicated, because when you communicate, you must make sure that the receiver of your information gets the exact message that you're giving. The book also talks about God's grace and the fact that you could always get back on your feet. So even if you're not a Christian, even though Francine Rivers has written a lot of books for Christians, you could get a pretty good guide on action steps to take to fix your relationships, and the fact that there is always an opportunity to do better and be better. And then it also shows you that your perspective is not always the best, or your perspective could be misconstrued, so you could sense things in the wrong way. So you should be a bit more patient and just more astute with dealing with relationships and communication. It also talks about training of children and disciplining of children. So if you're somebody that is thinking of having a family, or thinking of mending your own relationships with your children or your parents, it's a very good guide for that. It also talks about mistakes and the repercussions therein. It also talks about loss, which is a part of our lives. Naturally, you could lose someone that is dear to you and could actually make you lose yourself if you're not careful. And then it also talks about reliance versus self-sufficiency. It talks about how it is that a lot of times we feel like we can do things on our own, we can handle a lot of things, and then we reach a place that we realize that we actually need help, external help, and it helps you to see that nobody is self-sufficient and that you all need someone to lean on, like the songwriter says. We all need someone. Okay, singing rubbish now. We all need somebody to lean on. So, yeah, you could take the leap of faith, take a risk, and trust someone or rely on others. I think the most important message of the book is building bridges. A lot of times you use the phrase "don't burn down bridges," but this book emphasizes on building the bridges. You could be a bridge to a broken relationship. You could also fix the bridges that you probably have tampered with, probably not burnt completely. So the book also talks about prayer, which to me is a very important part of life, and it doesn't say there's any hard or fast rule on prayer. I believe in God, and I believe in His power, and I believe that there's so many things that we cannot solve on our own, and in spite of our reliance on other people, sometimes to whatever degree, the person that we should rely on the most is God, and there's a lot of emphasis on that. I could just see one of the characters in the book bloom and grow because of prayer, just trusting in God, especially in this life where you don't know what's going to happen next. There's only one person that knows the future or the end from the beginning, and that is God. So, and it doesn't have to be that you are sitting in one place for donkey years in the name of prayer, but that you're always conscious of the fact that you have a Heavenly Father, and that you can present your worries and your burdens to Him and feel a lot of peace, a lot of ease, and get a lot of direction on what to do. And yeah, there's so much to learn. I believe that every time we read books, it shouldn't just be about entertainment or just enjoying yourself, because every time a writer writes a book, I feel like they've gone through so much struggle to pass across a particular information. It doesn't matter what you think books are like nowadays. Each piece of writing has an information that is trying to pass across, and you could even pick far more than the writer could have ever thought they wanted to write if you're paying enough attention. And so these are just a few things that I learned from the book, and I advise anybody to pick it up because it really got me thinking, and it has helped me to get better perspective on certain things that I probably did not understand before in my own relationships, and it could help you too. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. The name of the book is Her Daughter's Dream, don't forget. I started reading Francine Rivers because of one of her bestsellers, Redeeming Love. I think for all those that read Christian literature, especially ladies, a lot of people have read Redeeming Love. And even though most of her books are centered around love of God, you could also see other kinds of love, like filial love, family love, like relationships between the opposite sex and all that, and how they could be healthier and could bring much more good to the individuals in those relationships, as opposed to doing them a lot of damage. But it shows you that life is a very delicate mix of high and lows, of troughs and peaks, and that's the dance of life, is that it's not always on one wave. You ride on different waves, and you could enjoy it if you just understand that that is a part of life. So pick it up and read. It's a good one, and stay blessed. I'll see you in my next one. Rita signing out. Peace.